How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to be taking a look at Marvel's Alien issue number 1, or, well, the second issue number 1. This is written by Phillip Kennedy Johnson with art by Julius Ohta, and I guess start off with the basics. This is the second Alien run. Basically, every so often, Marvel just resets to a new number 1 because everybody loves picking up number 1s. I think I heard Phillip Kennedy Johnson refer to this as a season 2, so I guess that kind of distinguishes it that way. It still keeps the continuity of the old comics, but much like before, every new plot arc is kind of doing its own thing, and I hope eventually it'll all come together in some way. This new plot arc is called Icarus, and it's going to be 6 issues long. I don't know if once Icarus is over, if the number will reset again, and if it will, they probably should have just put Icarus on the title page. But if it's not, I'm kind of wondering, is Marvel going to do 12-issue seasons with 2 6-issue plot arcs each time and then keep resetting? That's kind of a weird thing to do. I kind of wish that the numbers would just be for the plot arc and that they would just put the plot arc name on the top, but whatever, that's just, I don't know, it just makes the books harder to name. But anyway, new plot arc here. And also, as a lot of you notice, a new artist, Julius Ohta, instead of the last guy, Salvador LaRocca. Personally, I do think the art is a bit of a downgrade. It's not really bad or anything. It's just the last guy's art I thought was pretty good. The book had a nice creepy feel. This just feels a little bit more like standard comic art, and I don't want to say it's bad. It's just relatively standard and okay, and I do miss the last guy's artwork. Now, I know that there was some sort of drama with him. I try to avoid looking at comic book drama because it just gets to be a mess. But I think it was people got mad at him for using the action figures as like a model for drawing from, and that, if that's all it was, artists draw from models all the time. Like, that's been going on since the beginning of art, and even artists used rudimentary projectors back in the classical period. They've been tracing for forever, so I don't really see it as that big a deal, and I just thought his artwork was better. Like I said, the new artwork is not as bad, and we're gonna see it is not bad, but it's not as good as the last one. You know, we're going to see it in a minute. You can judge for yourself, but I do think it's a downgrade. It's not horrible, but it's a downgrade. But the story. This time around, we're following a group of synthetics, as you can tell from all this white blood on the cover. And, I don't know, to be honest, it doesn't look bad. And the next issue, issue 2, I think is going to be a lot more interesting because they're going to go to like a planet that got ravaged by aliens and stuff. And I think there is going to be something cool down the line for this plot arc. But just at the beginning, you know, I look at it and I'm like, you know, okay, our first 2 protagonists. The first one was a company man that had to learn that the lifestyle he had lived his whole life was probably a mistake. He probably shouldn't have sold his soul to Weyland-Yutani. And then the protagonist of the second arc was literally dying, and as she was dying, questioning her faith and questioning bringing all these people out to a planet in the middle of nowhere. Both these 2 protagonists had really great conflict behind them, and you could see their emotional vulnerability. And I really loved, you know, both of our protagonists from the last 2 arcs. These replicants, no, this is not Blade Runner, don't say replicants. These synthetics, they're really super powered, you know? They're jumping around, they're punching, they're killing humans like it's no problem. And I don't really know, like, they were working for the humans and they got away and the humans are pulling them back in. There'll probably be some emotional weight there, but I don't really know their struggle yet. And you know, I need that bit of investment. And with the other two leads, the struggle and their character was much more apparent really early on, and I don't know this group yet, and I hope we get to know them soon, and I hope they're not just bland superhumans running around and punching things. I want to know their story, and we're not cued into that super much yet, and I hope they're developed more later, but as of right now, not super much. But also, synthetics. I almost said replicants again. Synthetics, the aliens don't notice them unless they attack them directly. The aliens tend to avoid them. And also, they're really strong and really fast. They're soldier units. I don't know, like, will this be a challenge for them? They're gonna go to an alien world, that's cool, and this cover would suggest that some of them are going to get killed, but are they just gonna walk in there, do their mission, and leave? Because I don't really see how the aliens would even notice them. Again, this will probably all be resolved in issue 2, but as of right now, they don't have as much character, and they're way too overpowered, and I really loved our last two protagonists. I loved to see their story, which was pretty apparent right from the very beginning. So this isn't as strong of an opening issue, but we still do have the same writer as those last two plot arcs, and I'm hoping we'll get to see some good character development soon. So not the strongest introduction, but just from the past two plot arcs, I have to have faith that issue 2 will expand and explain this. So not the best start to a new arc, but I'm hoping. And without further ado, let's go ahead and switch to the close-up camera. I'll show you guys a bit of the story in the arc, but I won't be doing any spoilers. But if you want to see this book a little bit closer, I'll switch to the close-up camera. Alright, here we are inside the castle, taking a closer look at Marvel's Alien, Season 2, Number 1. Let's just go ahead and take this closer to the camera. There's the big old number 1, and we see the new credit line with Phillip Kennedy Johnson still there, but the new artist Julius Ohta. If we flip it down, or pan down I guess, we get to see this really nice cover. I really do like it. It's this alien, and he's looking right at the camera, screaming at us, and he's ripped this synthetic in half. And yeah, aliens will attack synthetics if they provoke them, but they can normally stay under the radar. But I do like this nice little tiny detail. You can see the alien eggs off in the background. I love little tiny details like that you didn't need. We also see the number 1, $3.99 in the US, includes the digital edition, but I don't really care, and parental advisory. We are keeping the parental advisory. That's always great. It's something I do want to continually stress, is that Alien is a rated R movie. The comics definitely should follow suit. But anyway, we open up, and I guess even though there's a cold opening, I'll show you guys the double page credit splash. Red this time around. They were usually a greenish, bluish color, but now we're red. And we see Phillip Kennedy Johnson, Julius Ohta, and a bunch of other names. And we get this previously on. Alien, Aliens, Chapter 1, Chapter 2, and then a little bit about what this plot arc is going to be about. And they do actually briefly reference the Spinner Colony, which I really do like, because, you know, they don't always reference between the plot arcs, and I do like there was at least a brief mention of the Spinners. And then we get Tobbler 9, City of the Future, and this was a Weyland-Yutani world that they were doing secret experiments on that got overrun by aliens. So you get warning organisms, also see Nostromo, Hadley's Hope, Epsilon Station, and Eurocide. I'm still not sure how to pronounce that planet. Not sure how to pronounce Tobler either. Tobler? I guess. Anyway, there's the city, and let's go back to the cold opening. We can actually see the city. And if we flip to this first page, talk about kind of getting off on a wrong foot here. We see this, this planet. This is Tobler 9. And we see it's nice and futuristic, and we're going down this escalator that, for whatever reason, doesn't look like it has steps. How are you supposed to go down there? Do you slide? But we get this lady who's like 50 foot tall, or is she right next to us? I don't really know. It looks like her projector's coming from over there, which means she would be standing right here probably, which she's really big then, but it looks really empty and dead, and to be fair, that is because of a xenomorph attack, but you think it would look a little more destroyed. Our only clue is this really easy to miss blood splatter here, and whatever that is, I'm guessing that's a dude down there. But I really do feel like this should have had more damage on it. But plus, I mean, I'm an Alien fan. I don't want to see nice, clean future worlds. I want to see messed up, rugged stuff. And we do get the, little lean into the Alien plot. They're talking about, oh, this is Weyland-Yutani's world where they can do whatever they want. The investor is in charge and not the government. And we get a giant fetus. Okay, there's a staircase. This tank is 2 stories tall, right? That baby must be huge. But anyway, little red panels indicating that something is afoot. And we do get, a bunch of people crowding the exit, the soldiers saying Weyland people first, and then, of course, they're all murdered by the good old xenomorphs there, and we do get some gore. So that's always good that we still get a little bit of gore, the head splitting in half. I do love that Marvel is keeping this rated R. But anyway, after that we get the cold opening, and we jump to another peaceful planet. Man, I said this just a second ago with Tobler. I want rundown, grungy worlds that look barely habitable, not this nice, peaceful stuff. And they even got, like, those Avatar floating islands. By the way, I think I said this at the beginning of the last plot arc when everything looked peaceful, but man, I would love to see, because they're both Fox now, right? I would love to see the aliens fight the Avatar people. But anyway, we get these nice, peaceful, and happy people, and we meet our new main character. She is rock climbing, and as you do when you're rock climbing, you just jump off the freaking side of the cliff there, and as I saw that, and I was like, if she is not an android, I'm going to be very upset that she can survive just jumping off the side of the cliff. But of course she is an android, and the military comes in and starts attacking them, and they have to run off and fight them. And yeah, there is our superhuman replicants just, again, jumping off cliffs and, basically flying around like early Superman when he could just jump really good and couldn't fly yet. And yeah, superhumans are always harder to do with horror, as a protagonist. You gotta make them vulnerable, and they're really taking out and killing a bunch of guys. And my favorite one is this one synthetic who pretends to be a human prisoner, and then once they let their guard down, just kills them all. So yeah, these synthetics are really violent. They don't want to be found out by the military, and they eventually, after they stop this whole attack, they stand over in their hero group pose. They left the main guy alive to question him, and they say a few others are still technically alive too. And that's when we get the whole, we didn't come here to kill you, we need your help. And they're going to try to pull them in for one last mission. overall, it's an okay introduction. You get the idea that they had worked for the government before and they were disrespected, but we don't really get to know any of them too well as individuals yet. And, you know, the main girl, like, I don't really know anything about her other than that she was a synthetic that was formerly in the army and left. You know, I really wish I knew more of her personal story, and I'm hoping this is all going to come in the coming issues. And this is one of those things where the start off isn't horrible, but it's not really great either. And I am hoping, because, you know, there is a hint that this mission they're going to go on might be pretty cool. So this is a case of fingers crossed. I want it to be good. I'm hoping it's good, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. You know, like before this, the synthetics were always, you know, kind of ambiguous, you know. They did want their freedom. Some of them were just content with carrying out their duties, but others were rebelling, and amongst those that were rebelling, there were, you know, ones that were trying to do it more peacefully, and there were some that were borderline terrorist. And I did like how complex this issue was, and I felt that the Alien comic was really treating it as this big, complex issue, and I'm hoping that the story continues to change and evolve as we get into this new arc. But again, another case of we'll have to wait and see. So, fingers crossed, hoping it's going to come out good. There's the next time on cover. Next, number A2, the Steel Team, that's what they were called, returns. And I do really like the cover artist here. That's pretty cool. But anyway, to everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You really are helping the channel out. I'll leave a relevant playlist on the bottom. This should be my Marvel's Alien Comics playlist. If you want to see me talk about every prior issue to this, I've covered all 12 issues of Season 1, the Aliens one-shot, and the Alien Annual, which is pretty fun as well. Anyway, have a good day. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Relevant playlist on the bottom. Have a good day now.